Imagine a surgeon, okay? Hand steady, eyes glued to a screen, guiding these tiny instruments inside a patient.
Mm-hmm.
Now, picture those movements not just being helped, but like supercharged by artificial intelligence, seeing things you can't normally see, crunching data in real time.
Yeah, helping make clearer decisions. It's really not just about robots anymore, is it?
Exactly.
We've moved past just mechanical arms. It's a fundamental shift.
Yeah.
We're talking about boosting human skill with machine intelligence in, well, surgery, one of the most critical things we do.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the weeds of AI-enhanced robotic surgery. It's this huge, fast-moving field.
And it's not just about automating stuff, like a factory line.
Right.
This is technology taking a massive leap, moving beyond just being a fancy tool to becoming, well, an intelligent partner right there in the operating room.
So our mission for you listening in is to cut through all the complexity here. It's a really technical area.
Mm-hmm. We've gone through the source material, excerpts from the ascent of AI-enhanced robotic surgery, and we're trying to pull out what really matters, what's actually significant.
We'll be looking at the basic robotic systems, the foundations. Who are the big companies pushing this forward, fighting for market share?
Yeah, and what specific AI tech are they actually using? How does it work? What about the money side, the business models driving all this growth?
And ultimately, what does this all mean for patients, for healthcare overall? Because the impact, it seems, is pretty transformative.
Oh, definitely. And the core promise, it's huge. Less trauma for patients, getting back on their feet much faster.
Right.
And looking ahead, a future where a surgeon's own skills are just profoundly boosted by this tech. It's really a new chapter for medicine, kind of redefining what surgical precision even means.
Okay, so we've set the scene. Let's dig a bit deeper. How did we even get here? Before AI was really in the mix, robotic surgery itself was a massive deal, right?
Yeah.
Compared to old school open surgery.
Oh, absolutely. You have to remember, traditional open surgery often meant large incisions, a lot of trauma to the body, long hospital stays.
Yeah, painful recovery.
Exactly. So that first revolution was just getting away from that. The early robots allowed for a huge expansion of minimally invasive procedures. That was the first massive win for patients.
And the benefits were pretty clear, right? Less trauma, less pain.
Much faster recovery times. People were going home sooner, getting back to work, back to their lives much quicker, often with tiny scars instead of big ones. It really changed the whole patient experience for a lot of common operations. Prostate surgery, hysterectomies, things like that.
And the machines themselves, the early ones, they had some key advantages.
Definitely. The mechanical side was crucial. First, enhanced 3D visualization. Surgeons got this incredibly clear, magnified, high-def view inside the body, way better than looking at a flat 2D screen.
Like having supervision.
Kind of, yeah. Then, superior dexterity. The robotic instruments, often with tiny wrists, could bend and rotate way beyond what a human wrist can do.
Getting into tight spots.
Exactly, allowing for really delicate work in confined spaces. And finally, precision. The systems could filter out any natural hand tremor, just rock-solid control. That was a level of steadiness you just couldn't get before.
Okay, so that was the baseline. Mechanical precision, better view, better dexterity. But you said this is where it gets really interesting.
This is the pivot point. We're moving beyond just the mechanics, the physical advantages, to this next frontier, embedding artificial intelligence into these systems.
Right.
It stops being just about what the robot does physically and starts being about how intelligently it can help the surgeon.
And the source material really stresses this isn't just a small update. It calls AI a strategic game changer, transforming the robot from a tool into an intelligent partner. I like that phrase.
It really captures it, doesn't it? It suggests like a collaboration.
Yeah.
So this intelligent partnership means AI is working alongside the surgeon, feeding them real-time insights based on data. Think of it like having a co-pilot who can process huge amounts of information instantly.
What kind of information?
Analyzing how the surgery is going, maybe spotting subtle things, comparing it to past procedures, potentially even flagging risks based on predictive models. The goal is better, more consistent outcomes for every single patient, every single time.
Consistency sounds key.
It is. And maybe even more interesting is the feedback loop it creates for the surgeons themselves. Continuously, objectively.
So how does that work?
The system can track metrics, analyze technique. It gives surgeons data on their own performance they'd never had before. It's not just about doing this one surgery better. It's changing how surgeons learn and refine their skills throughout their entire careers. Moving from just, feeling how it went to hard data, personalized improvement.
Wow. That's That's a big deal for training and skill development.
Huge.
And if you're listening and thinking this sounds maybe a bit sci-fi, a bit far off, well, the money says otherwise. The economic drive behind this is massive. This market isn't just growing, it's exploding.
The numbers are pretty staggering. Forecasts are suggesting this market could top $25 billion by 2030
$25 billion.
and potentially surge past $47 billion by 2037. I mean, what does that tell you about the healthcare landscape?
That serious money is flowing in.
Exactly. Big investments, rapid adoption. It's reshaping hospital budgets, R&D focus. This isn't some niche tech anymore. It's becoming central to how future healthcare is delivered. It's a major competitive battleground.
And what's fueling that growth? Is it just the tech being cool?
It's a combination. On one hand, we have aging populations and a rise in chronic diseases, complex cancers, heart conditions that often need surgery.
So more demand for surgery in general.
Right. And on the other hand, you have the clear clinical benefits these AI-enhanced robots offer. Better results, fewer complications, faster recoveries. It's a really strong value proposition for hospitals and health systems. They see better patient care, maybe even better efficiency.
So it feeds itself. Better tech leads to better outcomes, which drives more investment, which leads to even better tech.
That's the cycle, yeah.
Hmm.
As it proves its worth, clinically and economically, the investment follows, pushing innovation and adoption even faster. We're seeing the boundaries of surgery constantly being pushed.
Okay, so the stage is well and truly set. Huge potential, massive investment, real patient benefits. Let's talk about the players. Who's actually in this game? You mentioned it used to be dominated by one company.
For a very long time, yes. The landscape is definitely shifting now, getting much more competitive.
Yeah.
But for over 20 years, the name was Intuitive Surgical.
Ah, the Da Vinci people.
Exactly. They basically created this market with their Da Vinci systems, set the standard, built a massive lead. Their early vision really paved the whole road for robotic surgery as we know it.
And they haven't just sat back, right? They keep innovating.
Definitely. That's key to their continued leadership. They keep releasing new platforms like the Da Vinci 5, which pushes things further, more precision, more digital smarts. And they've also branched out, developed specialized systems.
Like for specific procedures.
Yeah, like their Ion system. It's specifically for doing minimally invasive biopsies deep in the lung. So they're covering the broad, multi-purpose surgery, but also targeting these high-value, complex niche areas.
And their business model is pretty famous, isn't it? The razor and blades thing?
Oh, yeah. It's crucial to understanding their dominance. They sell the robot the razor, which is a huge upfront cost for the hospital. Millions sometimes.
Okay.
But then the real money, the consistent profit, comes from selling the proprietary instruments and accessories needed for each surgery. Those are the blades. They have limited uses, so hospitals have to keep buying them. It's a very reliable, high-margin business.
So the money keeps rolling in after the initial sale.
Constantly. And add to that, they lock hospitals into multi-year service and maintenance contracts. These complex machines need ongoing support. So you've got the system sale, the recurring instrument sales, and the service contracts. It creates this really deep ecosystem.
Makes it hard for hospitals to switch.
Very hard. Once you've invested millions in the robot, trained all your surgeons and staff on that specific system, switching to a competitor is a massive undertaking, financially and logistically. It's a powerful competitive advantage for Intuitive.
A moat, as they say.
A very effective one. But as we said, that dominance is now being seriously challenged, and not by small startups, but by other huge medtech companies.
Diversified giants.
Exactly. Companies with deep pockets, massive R&D budgets, global sales forces. It's changing the game.
Okay, like who?
Well, first up, Johnson & Johnson, J&J. They're making a big play, both through buying companies and developing their own tech.
Right.
Their orthopedic division, DePuy Synthes, already has a robotic system called VELYS for joint replacements. So they're already in the robotics space there.
That better going after Intuitive's core market, too.
Yes, with their upcoming OT-TAVI system. That's aimed squarely at soft tissue surgery, directly competing with Da Vinci. And J&J is making a point of saying OT-TAVI is designed differently, more flexible, adaptable, easier to fit into different OR setups, maybe a smaller physical footprint. They're trying to differentiate on usability and integration.
Interesting. Who else?
Medtronic, another huge player in medical devices globally. They made a key move by acquiring Maser Robotics a few years back.
What did that give them?
It gave them Maser's expertise, particularly in spinal robotics. So Medtronic now has the Hugo RAS system, RAS, for robotic-assisted surgery, which competes with Da Vinci and OTAVE in soft tissue.
Okay.
but they also have the Maser X system specifically for guiding instruments in spine surgery. So Medtronic isn't just betting on one area, they're diversified across different surgical fields. That's a pretty powerful position.
So they can compete in multiple arenas, and then they're Stryker. They're big in orthopedics, right?
Dominant, really, especially after they bought Metco Surgical. Their Mako robotic arm is everywhere now for knee and hip replacements, partial knee, total hip. It's a perfect example of how focusing a robot on a specific high-volume area can lead to massive success. Mako is kind of the standard of care in many places for robotic joint replacement.
So we have the giants slugging it out, but what about smaller, more focused companies?
Oh yeah, there's a whole fascinating layer of niche innovators and emerging players too. They're often carving out specific areas or trying completely new approaches.
Like who? Give us an example.
Okay, Procepti Biorobotics. They have a system called Aquabeam. It's only for one thing, treating benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH basically, and enlarged prostate.
Wow, that's specific.
Super specific. It uses robotically controlled water jet to remove tissue. It shows how the market is getting granular, developing tools for very particular problems.
Interesting. Any others?
Smith & Nephew is another key name in orthopedic robotics. But their Coria system is different. It's a handheld robotic tool, not a big standalone arm like Mako.
So a different form factor.
Exactly. More compact, gives the surgeon maybe a different feel. It caters to different preferences, different OR setups, shows there isn't just one way to design a surgical robot.
What about outside orthopedics or urology?
Accuray is a really interesting one. They're in robotic radiosurgery with CyberKnife. It's basically a highly precise radiation treatment system mounted on a robot arm.
It's not cutting, but delivering radiation.
Exactly. Targeting tumors with incredible accuracy, sometimes moving with the patient's breathing. It's a non-invasive application of robotics, saving lives in cancer treatment.
And you mentioned emerging companies, a new wave.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Companies like Ascensa Surgical, CMR Surgical, Moon Surgical, these are newer players bringing fresh ideas. They're differentiating with different designs, maybe smaller robots. We're trying to build in more advanced digital features and AI right from the start. It shows the innovation pipeline is still very active. The story's far from over.
It really sounds like a crowded and dynamic field now. Okay, so we know who the players are. Let's get into the tech itself. What's actually under the hood? How is AI being used in these systems? You said it's about augmentation, not autonomy.
That's the absolute key principle right now. It's crucial to get this. AI is there to help the surgeon, to enhance their skills and perception. It's not about the robot doing the surgery by itself. The human surgeon is always in control, making the critical decisions.
Got it. So the AI is like an incredibly smart assistant. How does it assist? What are the main applications?
Okay, one of the most fundamental is computer vision and advanced image guidance. This is core to the robot's smarts.
Using the cameras.
Exactly. AI algorithms process images, both the pre-op scans like CTs and MRIs, and the live video feed coming from the robot's camera inside the patient during the surgery.
And what does the AI do with those images?
It fuses them together,
Yeah.
analyzes them in real time, and creates these incredibly detailed 3D anatomical maps, dynamic maps that update as the surgery progresses.
So the surgeon sees more.
Way more, and with more context. It helps them navigate really complex anatomy with much greater clarity. They can identify critical structures, tiny nerves, blood vessels, the edge of a tumor, things that might be hard to see otherwise. It's like giving them real-time anatomical GPS inside the body.
That sounds incredibly useful for safety.
Hugely. Reducing the risk of accidentally damaging something vital.
Okay.
Next big area, data analytics and performance insights. This is where these robots become more than just surgical tools.
To collect data.
Vast amounts. Think about it. Every movement, every instrument activation, the time taken for each step. It can all be recorded objectively. These platforms are becoming massive data-gathering devices.
And Intuitive's, my Intuitive Hub is an example of using that
My
data.
prime example. They collect and analyze anonymized data from thousands, maybe millions, of procedures done all over the world. It's an incredible data set.
What's the benefit of collecting all that data?
The benefit is feeding insights back to the surgeons, providing them with objective, confidential data on their own performance. Metrics like how long they used certain instruments, how efficient their movements were compared to anonymized peers.
Wow, really? Benchmarking.
Yes, it allows surgeons to see where they might be able to improve based on concrete data, not just intuition. It's transforming surgical training and continuous professional development. It's moving towards data-driven mastery, even for experienced surgeons.
That's a fundamental shift in how skills are honed. Okay, what else can AI do?
predictive analytics for surgical planning. This is using AI before the surgery even starts.
How does that work?
AI models can analyze a specific patient's data, their scans, biopsy results, maybe even genetic info, to help the surgeon plan the optimal approach.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like in breast cancer surgery, an AI might analyze the patient's data to help the surgeon predict exactly how much tissue needs to be removed to get clear margins to make sure all the cancer is gone.
The goal being to avoid needing a second operation.
Exactly. Reduce the chance of leaving cancerous cells behind, which means reducing the need for follow-up surgeries. It's about planning for precision to get it right the first time.
Makes sense. Better planning, better outcomes. What about during the surgery itself? Does AI help control the instruments?
It does, but subtly.
Hmm.
Remember, the surgeon is in control, but AI provides enhancements. For example, it can filter out those tiny, natural hand tremors we all have.
Stabilizing the instruments.
Right, making movements incredibly steady, which is critical for delicate tasks like suturing tiny vessels. AI can also automate some simple, repetitive subtasks.
Like what?
Maybe holding tension on a suture or automatically keeping the camera focused on the right spot. It frees up the surgeon's mental energy to focus on the crucial parts of the operation.
The source mentioned Intuitive's sure-form stapling.
Yeah, that's a great specific example. It uses sensors in the stapler and an algorithm to give the surgeon real-time feedback about how much the tissue is being compressed before they fire the staples.
Why is that important?
It helps ensure a consistent, reliable staple line every time. Reduces the risk of leaks or bleeding, which can be serious complications. It's micro-level precision, assisted by AI.
Okay, one more AI application mentioned was augmented reality overlays. That sounds futuristic.
It is pretty amazing to see. This is where AI takes critical information and superimposes it directly onto the surgeon's view in the console.
So they see the normal camera view plus extra info layered on top.
Exactly. Imagine the 3D location of a tumor that's deep inside an organ, or the path of a major blood vessel hidden behind tissue, derived from the pre-op scans.
And it's shown right on the live video feed.
Yes, like having anatomical X-ray vision, it gives the surgeon incredible context, guides their movements, helps them avoid critical structures they might not otherwise see clearly. It literally enhances their perception.
It's really quite something how these different AI layers are coming together. Better vision, data feedback, smarter planning, enhanced control, AR.
It all contributes to a more informed, more precise, and ultimately a safer surgical environment. It's not just about speed, it's about fundamentally improving the quality and safety of what happens in the OR.
Right. So we have this amazing technology, these powerful players. Let's talk about the money again. Who's actually buying these expensive systems? And how do the companies make money? Understanding the economics feels key here.
Absolutely. For now, the main customers are, well, the organizations with the resources. We're talking major capital investments.
So hospitals mostly.
Primarily hospitals, yes. And within hospitals, the big teaching hospitals were often the earliest adopters.
That makes sense.
Right. They focus on advanced tech, research, training future surgeons. They want to be on the cutting edge.
But is it spreading beyond just the huge academic centers?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
We're seeing more adoption in ambulatory surgical centers, ASCs. These are outpatient surgery centers. As the robots get maybe a bit smaller, potentially more specialized, maybe offered under different payment models, they become more feasible for ASCs too.
So access is broadening.
Slowly, yes. It's a sign the market's maturing. And of course, the end users, the people actually using the tech day to day, are the surgeons and their OR teams. They're the ones who need to be convinced of the benefits.
Okay, and the business models. We touched on Intuitive's razor and blades. Is that how everyone does it?
It's definitely the dominant model, especially for the big multi-purpose systems like Da Vinci and potentially Hugo and Otava.
Intuitive really perfected it, and it's just so effective at generating that long-term, reliable, high-margin recurring revenue. It fuels their R&D and market power.
Let's just quickly recap how it works. Big upfront cost for the robot.
The razor. Yeah. Millions of dollars, a major capital expense for the hospital.
Then continuous buying of instruments.
The blades, proprietary instruments specific to procedures, limited uses. Hospitals have to keep buying them. That's where the consistent high profit revenue comes from, often dwarfing the initial system cost over its lifetime.
And service contracts on top. Right. These are complex machines. They need maintenance, software updates, support. So hospitals sign multi-year service contracts. It all ties the hospital into that vendor's ecosystem very tightly.
Is there an alternative model?
Well, some systems, especially maybe more specialized ones like in orthopedics, might rely more on a traditional capital sale model.
Meaning most of the money is made on the initial robot sale.
Primarily, yes.
Okay.
There are still disposables and service revenues, but the big chunk comes from selling the machine itself. It might appeal to hospitals that prefer a clearer one-time investment for specific capability.
Got it. Different models for different market segments, maybe. Okay, let's pull back and look at the bigger picture again, the impact. How is all this AI integration changing the competitive dynamics? You said the hardware gap is closing.
Right, that's a fundamental shift. For 20 years, Intuitive's edge was largely its mechanics, the dexterity, the precision of the Da Vinci hardware protected by patents. That was their moat.
But now others are catching up on the hardware.
It seems so. Companies like Medtronic with Hugo, J&J with OTAV, they're bringing sophisticated hardware to the market too. The purely mechanical advantage is eroding, or at least leveling out.
So if it's not just about the hardware anymore, what is the competition about?
Data, intelligence, the digital ecosystem. Look at Intuitive's strategy now. The new Da Vinci 5 is packed with digital features, and they heavily promote the My Intuitive Data Hub. They're pivoting. They know the future isn't just building the best robot arm, it's building the smartest system.
And others are doing the same.
Absolutely. We mentioned J&J explicitly talks about activating the power of data with Okuteva. Smaller companies like Ascensus are partnering with AI chip giants like NVIDIA for their intelligent surgical unit. It's happening across the board.
So the winner isn't necessarily the one with the fanciest wrist action anymore?
Not solely, no. The winner will likely be the company that builds the most compelling digital platform. That means better AI insights during surgery, more powerful data analytics for hospitals and surgeons, realistic training simulators based on real data, seamless integration with hospital IT systems. The battle has moved decisively from the physical robot to the digital intelligence surrounding it.
That's a really key takeaway. The fight is now digital. And that
Mhm.
also links to another trend you mentioned, specialization, moving away from one robot trying to do everything.
Exactly. The market's clearly evolving past the idea of a single, versatile robot like the original Da Vinci. We're heading towards a future where hospitals might have a fleet of specialized robots.
We saw examples already.
Right. Stryker's Mako, Smith & Nephew's Karai, purpose-built for joints. Procept Aquabeam, just for BPH. Intuitive's own Ion, just for lung biopsies. Different tools for different jobs.
Why the shift towards specialization?
Because different surgeries have very different needs. The precision needed for neurosurgery is different from the force needed for orthopedics. Accessing the lung is different from working in the abdomen. A specialized tool can often be optimized better for a specific task than a general-purpose one.
So what does that mean for hospitals making buying decisions?
It gets more complex. It's not just, should we buy a robot anymore? It's, which combination of robots do we need for our main procedures, for our surgeons, for our patients?
A portfolio approach?
Precisely. It's a more nuanced procurement strategy. But it also creates opportunities for smaller, more focused companies to break in with a best-in-class solution for a specific niche. The hospital of the future probably won't be standardized on just one brand. They'll manage a mixed fleet, hopefully interoperable systems, to cover their bases effectively.
Okay, let's bring it back to the benefits. For you, the listener, whether you're a patient, a clinician, or just interested, what's the upshot of all this AI-enhanced tech?
Well, the core benefit is still about enabling better, minimally invasive surgery. That unparalleled precision and control means more complex operations can be done through small incisions.
Which means
Better patient outcomes, less blood loss, smaller scars, fewer complications like infections, and significantly faster recovery times. Less pain, shorter hospital stays, quicker return to normal life. That's the bottom line for patients.
that's huge. What about for the surgeons themselves?
A big one is improved ergonomics and potentially longer careers. Standing hunched over an operating table for hours is physically demanding.
I can imagine.
Operating from a comfortable, seated console, looking at a magnified view, with tremors filtered out. It dramatically reduces physical strain and fatigue. This could help surgeons operate effectively for more years, keeping experienced hands in practice longer.
That's a really interesting, maybe overlooked benefit. And the data aspect again.
Yes, the data-driven performance improvement in training. That objective feedback loop is revolutionary. Surgeons can analyze their technique in ways never before possible. And training new surgeons on simulators using real-world data. That standardizes and improves the quality of surgical education globally. It raises the bar for everyone.
So, incredible benefits on multiple fronts, but it can't all be smooth sailing. What are the hurdles, the challenges holding this back from being everywhere?
The biggest one, without a doubt, is cost. These systems are incredibly expensive to buy, to maintain, And the proprietary instruments add significant cost to each procedure.
So access is an issue.
Definitely. It limits adoption mainly to larger, well-funded hospitals. It raises serious questions about cost-effectiveness for some procedures, and it creates potential disparities in care. Can smaller hospitals or healthcare systems in less wealthy regions afford this technology? That's a major ongoing challenge.
What else?
The lack of haptic feedback is still a point of discussion for some systems.
That's a sense of touch.
Exactly. In open surgery, surgeons can physically feel the tissues, how tough they are, the tension. Many robotic systems don't fully replicate that feeling. While companies are working on it, adding force feedback and other sensory information.
It's still not the same as direct touch for some surgeons.
For some, it remains a concern, a sensory input they miss.
Okay. And the market itself. You mentioned Intuitive's head start.
Yes, market incumbency and interoperability are real barriers for competitors. Intuitive has been building its ecosystem for 2 decades. Hospitals have invested heavily, trained staff, they have established workflows.
So they're reluctant to switch or add another system.
It can be very difficult. Integrating a new competing system involves cost, retraining, potential workflow disruption. It makes it very tough for new entrants to displace the incumbent or even gain significant traction unless they offer something dramatically better or different, or perhaps target a niche Intuitive isn't focused on. How do you break into a market that's already so locked in? That's the big question for competitors.
It's a massive challenge. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels like we've covered a lot of ground, from the basic mechanics to this incredibly complex AI integration.
It's clear we're in the middle of a profound shift. AI is taking robotic surgery from being just a sophisticated mechanical tool to being this intelligent, data-rich partner in the OR.
And the focus is shifting, not just better tools, but fundamentally changing patient outcomes, changing the surgeon's experience, changing how skills are learned and maintained.
And the future vision coming from the source material is really striking. Hospitals managing these diverse fleets of specialized robots, all connected, all feeding data into this intelligent digital ecosystem. It's complex, yes, but incredibly exciting for the future of surgery.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on as we finish. As these systems get smarter, more specialized, more data-driven, and the competition moves squarely into that digital space, how does the role of the surgeon themselves change?
Yeah, how does their training need to evolve over the next, say, 10 years?
Will we see new kinds of surgical roles emerge? Maybe specialists who aren't just wielding the instruments, but are experts at interpreting all the AI-driven data coming off these fleets of robots.
Surgeons who are also data scientists, in a way. It's a really interesting question. It suggests the skill set needed might broaden significantly, where tech literacy and data interpretation become just as vital as traditional surgical skill. What does it mean to be a surgeon in an AI-augmented future? Something to think about.